everyone! So, remember a while back when I reviewed the first core of a certain witchy anime? Well, the second core is officially up on Netflix, so guess what time it is? Hope you're ready to tune in! I'm Rila, and this is the second core of Little Witch Academia. First, a reminder of what happened last time. It wasn't a lot. The first core spent most of the time setting up the plot by introducing all of the important plot threads. Akko goes about her daily routine at the school, all while getting into some charming misadventures with her friends. She finds the magic staff that belonged to her childhood idol, Shiny Chariot. And her plan is to become a great witch so she can meet Chariot one day, return the staff, and thank her for inspiring her when she was little. It was cute, but not much of an actual plot or narrative, so much as things just happening. But I'm okay with that. It is partially a school anime. I don't really have a problem with there not being a ton of plot, as long as each individual episode isn't stale. And for the most part, they weren't. But this core is where all those little plot threads really got put to use. As early as the first episode, the plot starts to unfold in a big way. Ursula tells Akko about the shiny rod and how she has to revive 7 magical words in order to unlock its true power. She accidentally revived 3 of them last core, so only 4 more to go. A magic problem starts causing issues around the school, but a new instructor, Professor Crow, shows up with a solution. And since she knew Chariot when they went to Luna Nova, she decides to help Akko on her mission. There are also strange happenings going on. Riots are building momentum around the country, and these bizarre monsters keep showing up around them. All things considered, I think the plot was woven together pretty well. It was pretty simple when you started putting the pieces together, but the overall theme of the show is pretty simple anyway, so it works. There weren't any gaping plot holes, at least not like the Mariana's plot trenches that a lot of the other animes suffer from. The ones I saw were minor nitpicks, but I'll bring them up later. Alright, time for characters! And I have to say that this category is a little bit of a gray area for me. We got a ton of character development out of Diana and Andrew this core. Lots more on Ursula and, of course, Akko too. But I do have to say that the other characters kinda got the shaft this core. Latte and Susie really didn't do much of anything until the very end. Amanda got a little more attention too, though this wasn't really character development. She just got her own episode where we get to see a little more of the friendly rivalry between her and Akko. Actually, even Amanda's roommate Constance got more character development than her. And that's definitely a feat, because Constance doesn't talk. Their other roommate, Jasminka, didn't really get anything this core either. But really, can we just take a moment to stop and appreciate the hidden gem in the show that is Constance? Her episode was just... Please, if you watch no other episode in the show, watch hers. Trust me. I am glad we got more out of Diana than her just being kind of icy. They clearly put a ton more work into her character than, well, most of them, honestly. It was also really nice getting to see some of the parallels between her and other characters. Also, less of her little mean girl duo was nice. I was also glad to get a little more time out of Andrew. His role was ultimately still pretty minor. I expected him to be a lot more important. Most of his role in the season was to inform Diana's background a little bit. Other than that, the arc he had with his father was still around to the end. But then, I know he probably couldn't have actually done anything, so it doesn't bother me too much, I guess. I did like this little moment he got towards the end, where we get to see just how much Akko's managed to affect him. So, remember how I said Studio Trigger really knows how to deliver on the animation? I love it when I'm right. Thanks to the more involved plot, we got a lot more action scenes out of this season, and every single one of them was glorious. The one in Amanda's episode was so sleek and graceful, and the one in Constance's episode was epic. The ones around the climax were amazing, and as always, the creature designs and magic effects are top-notch. I love Studio Trigger. I I think the biggest thing about this season was how it really focused on its themes. Like I said before, it's a show about childhood dreams, the things that inspire us and the challenges that might stand in our way. I like seeing the different angles they approach this whole thing from. Like Andrew's arc about speaking up for his own beliefs to his father, or the burden of expectations placed upon Diana because of her family legacy. It's nice to see all of that in contrast with Akko, whose only real obstacle is herself. I also like how they tied the theme to the plot in a way. The shiny rod, Chariot's staff, is basically a magical item with the power to make dreams into reality, or, as the show put it, change the world. But in order to gain access to that power, Akko has to unlock the words, which pretty much all come with lessons about the virtue you need in order to make your dreams come true. But then there was a darker side to it all, like the idea that one person's dreams coming true might prevent another person from realizing theirs. But also how some dreams can get corrupted. Some of those scenes get really emotional too, especially for Akko. Seeing her sad hurt my heart so much. Okay, time for spoilers. If you don't want to be spoiled, go to the time code below to skip straight to the conclusion. Anyway, most of these are really little things. Minor little nitpicks I had and things I just have to gush about. You understand. So, remember how I said Ursula was a walking spoiler with all the subtlety of a tank? Yeah, so who didn't immediately know she was Chariot? It's okay, no shame in admitting you're a little slower than the rest of the class. In fairness, they didn't try too hard to hide it. Even in the beginning, she may be a show magician, but she's no actress. Subtlety is clearly not her strong suit. Still, if you weren't going to really try to hide it, maybe you shouldn't have tried making the reveal all dramatic and stuff. Oh, but nothing compares to Crow. I swear, from the instant she shows up, one of her magic contraptions might as well have a flashing neon sign over her head that says, "I'm the villain!" I mean, just look at her. Look at her face! That smug grin with the half-opened eyes. That's Evil Anime Character 101. Luckily, they get that out of the way super early. Otherwise, it'd have just been laughable. Actually, I liked her. She was a slightly more complex villain. In fact, she was kind of like a dark foiled Diana. Diana wanted to be chosen by the shiny rod too, but Akko got it, despite it seeming on the surface like Diana was the clear choice. It mirrored the situation with Crow and Chariot perfectly. At the same time, they show that she's jealous, but not entirely heartless. She doesn't want to hurt anyone. She just wants to crush Chariot's dreams the same way she feels like Chariot crushed hers. It isn't just envy. She practically feels betrayed, probably even a little cheated. I did have one problem with her though. What on earth was her plan? To put it in simple terms, she used her magi technology to convert negative emotions into magical energy. Oh, and we will come back to that later. Trust me. Anyway, she was gathering all of this energy so she could break the seal on the magical item that'd give her access to the world-changing magic and all that. She wanted to be the only one with that power. But what was she planning to do once she had it? Sure, she seemed to want to restore the world's magic, but then what? Think about it. She got on Akko's case about not knowing what she wanted to unlock with that power for. So what did she want with it? I don't think she thought that part through. Other stuff is all really tiny nitpicks, though most of it does revolve around her plan. Crow uses negative emotions to fuel her magic. Okay, that I can understand. But by her own admission, the people she manipulates were already feeling those emotions. She just amplified them a little. She gets all the help around the school to go on strike for a pretty logical reason. But then there's the next time she does it. Starting a literal war over a game of soccer? Seriously? Seriously? Of all the things that would have been better for you to start riots and wars over in this series, soccer! Not the whole magic becoming obsolete thing, not animosity towards the witches. You chose soccer. Okay, dude, whatever floats ya. Anyway, there was one other thing about her plan I found kind of amusing. So her plan basically took away all the magic around the country, maybe even the world, right? Well, it's a good thing witches apparently had superpowers without it. Seriously, even after getting her magic taken away, Chariot kicked a dragon in the face and actually got it to back off. Then she jumped like 30 feet in the air. I know that scene was supposed to be all intense and stuff, but I'm sorry, it was just hilariously awesome. Oh, and speaking of hilariously awesome, Constance's episode, that mech fight was so cool. And I see what you did there, Trigger. A nice little nod to Gurren Lagann, right down to the drill punch finishing move. Nice. It's little fan service moments like those that really push things over the edge for me. I love it! Summary time! I think that if the first core was too slow or too late for you, this should more than make up for it. It's a lot higher on energy, the emotional impact is way stronger, and it's just as funny and absurd as before. Plus, there's a lot of really good character development out of some key players. Also, the animation is gorgeous. Suffice it to say, I am totally getting this one when it comes out. Oh, and the game! Wait, is that out yet? Shoot, I forgot when that comes out. Now I gotta check. Oh! That's all for now. Thanks for watching. If you liked what you saw, give that like button a zap. If you want to show some support, check out that Patreon link in the description. Hit that left button to subscribe and that right button to visit the site. This has been a Bulletin Review. I'm Rila, and as always, stay tuned!